Here's a great brekkie that's not only vegan friendly, but it's also dairy free. It has a beautiful combination of apples and prunes. And I'm going to serve this couscous pudding with oat milk. I love oat milk because it's full of fibre and is a great alternative to dairy milk. Now, to make our apple compote in a pot, I'll add some apples, peeled, cored, and cut into chunks. We'll turn the heat on. I'll also add some dried pitted prunes. That's going to give it a really nice natural sweetness. And then some water, 400 millilitres of water. And for a really vibrant colour to this compote, I'll add some saffron. It's also going to give it a really delicate floral flavour. A small pinch is all we need for this. Great. Now to give it some extra perfume, some orange blossom water. So just add a small amount to that water. A pinch of cinnamon. And the last thing is some lemon, so just one peel, and that can go straight in. This is going to cook for about 20 to 25 minutes or until those apples are really soft and a lot of that liquid has reduced, so it almost starts to become quite syrupy. Now for the couscous. The ratio when you're cooking couscous is 1 part couscous to 1 part liquid, and I need to heat up the oat milk. What happens is the grains of couscous are going to absorb the lovely, almost nutty flavour of this milk. So measuring out 1 cup, and then I'll place that into a pot. Now while that's coming to the boil, I can measure out my couscous. So 1 cup of couscous into a bowl. Perfect. And then to give this sweetness, because this is a sweet style couscous for breakfast, I'll add some rice malt syrup. I love using rice malt syrup because it has a really nice rich flavour to it without being overly sweet. How great does that look? And a little bit more. And I don't need to mix this because now I'll add my oat milk and it'll come together nicely. It's come to the boil. So I'll bring this over to our couscous and then I'll just pour it in just to cover it. What's going to happen now is this couscous is going to swell and expand and double in size. But in order for that to happen, we need to cover that with some cling film, nice and tight so all of that steam gets trapped in there. And now we just wait for about 2 to 3 minutes. Once it's completely absorbed that oat milk, then I'm going to fluff it up with a fork. Now this stewed fruit is cooked and it's cooled down to room temperature. These apples are tender and soft, but they've still held their shape because I haven't overly mixed this, and this can last in the fridge for at least a week, if it lasts that long. Now to plate this up, let's have a look at our couscous. You can see that it's absorbed all of the liquid, and then using a fork, we just almost scrape over the top, just over the layers, like as if you were using a rake to rake up sand. That's the best way I could describe it. And you see, I'm not really digging into it because I don't want clumps. I want individual grains of this couscous. It smells really good. I can smell the oat milk that we've added to this. All right, now to start assembling this couscous brekkie, I like to add our couscous to the bowl first, in the centre. Great. And now for our stewed fruit and all of this beautiful syrup, we're going to put that generously over the top. Don't forget those prunes, they've really softened and almost broken down. And the smell of the saffron and that orange blossom water is so good. So pour that over quite generously. There's a few more little apples on top. Now just add a little bit more of this oat milk around the couscous, just to make a little bit of a moat. That looks so good. Just to finish it off, a sprinkling of cinnamon. Love cinnamon at breakfast. And for some crunch, because everything's quite soft in this dish, some toasted walnuts that I've roughly chopped up. There you go. That's my North African inspired brekkie. It's very similar to a porridge, but we're using some oat milk and we're using couscous. A really great combination. It's dairy free, vegan friendly. You know what? Everyone is going to love that. It's really, really interesting style of breakfast.